Let's talk about the Wizardlies and Landon Nickerson situation. Hi, I'm Maria Paula Bermeo, clinical psychologist, and on this channel we talk about various topics and we analyze them from a psychological point of view. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. Before starting this video, I want to remind you that I give in-person and online therapy. So if you need a consultation, please feel free to reach me out on my social media, my phone number, my email. All of them will be listed down below on the description box as well. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, it will help me out a lot. And if there's a specific topic that you would like me to talk about, leave it in the comments down below or feel free to DM me on my Instagram. I'm always open to suggestions and I love interacting with you all. I have to talk about another influencer couple drama because it seems to be a trend lately. This time is about the Wizardlies who was cheated on by her fiance Landon Nickerson. As a brief introduction of who they are, well, Liz Wizard, that's literally her name, mostly known as the Wizardlies, is a YouTuber who has built a massive following for her content based around self-love, self-care, self-improvement. I would say is a very feminist coaching style, and I don't mean it in a rude, judgy way. It is just a direct description of what it is and what has made her so loved by her community. And as a fun fact, in her videos, she's also talked a lot about relationships. She's always encouraged women to not depend on a man, but if they happen to find love, she's also advised her audience to make sure the men add up to their lives, that they should be loyal, gentlemen, dedicated to them, and to be reciprocate as well. All about healthy relationships. She was also open up about not having a present dad in her life, which made her wish for a worthy man in her life, one that is willing to commit, to receive, but also give back, to be faithful, which continues on the line of what she usually preaches on her channel. Landon, on the other hand, is also a content creator, but different to Liz. He's a gamer and a software engineer. He's all about tech, hence why he even founded his own software and hardware developing company, aiming to make advances on augmented reality, but fame-wise, he's nowhere near Liz's level. I mean, just on Instagram, we were talking about 5 million followers versus 100k followers. A huge difference. But followers aside, they were supposed to be a couple, and actually their relationship has been under scrutiny for a while, especially by Liz's followers because of the fishy and contradicting timeline on how they met and how they started to date, even with the Reddit threads going viral online. There is a lot of information that I've been bombarded with since I got into this whole lore, so I'm going to sum it up as much as I can so we can all understand why have Landon and Liz been under a microscope. Apparently, Landon had watched Liz online 4 years ago in 2021 and thought she was cute, so he DM'd her. They exchanged some messages ever since, assuring they always chatted with each other when they were single, but fans have actually discovered they DM'd while they were both dating someone else allegedly. So first suspicious thing. Then, after having a cyber friendship, they met in person for the first time in July 2024 as they happened to bump into each other at the airport. And yes, I'm making quotations because Liz's followers are claiming that was not a casualty and instead Landon stalked Liz, which they both tried to clarify in a Q&A video that Liz herself posted on her YouTube channel with Landon, in which they tell the story of how they met.
And they kind of accused him of stalking her, like trying to rip her IP address so like he would know where she was at like all times or something to coordinate them being in the same place at the same time. But in this Q&A, they addressed this, saying that, you know, he's not a stalker, and they wanted to set the story straight about why he was in Athens and why she was there and how they met.
4 years ago?
Something
yeah,
like that.
4
Yeah,
years
3.5
ago, Landon messaged me, he DM'd me on Instagram, and he DM'd me a book that I should read. Then I was getting into my previous relationship, so we did message like back and forth. We were both like just living our lives, and
but in my head, I like adored you, to be honest. Like every time that you would send me a message, I got just uniquely excited.
So fast forward, then 3 years later, I went on a trip with my friend, and we were going to Santorini, and I had booked so last minute that we had to stop in Athens because normally it was directly to Santorini. I want to clarify because a lot of people think that you stalked me,
which is crazy. By the way, just got engaged and Liz posted that video. There were some comments that were like, "I think this guy is like an upper
all
stalker.
over.
He like knew where she was
No
gonna
way.
be."
My friend does not have social media. Like she doesn't have Instagram, and I never ever post my location for safety reasons. Never ever. So no way he could have known I'm in Athens, and especially there. I had like a mask on and a cap, okay? No one recognized me. No one could recognize me. We were gonna get up. We were sitting there 5 minutes, get up and go to our gate because we had our flight. Then all of a sudden, like...
This big upper nerd walks
no,
up.
like Landon walked by and I guess you saw me.
Before you give like the key moment. So like
Yeah.
from my POV, I ended up meeting some people that I was going to go to Mykonos with. So it was like a visa trip for 2 weeks and then a Mykonos trip. And the people that I was staying with ended up trying to scam me a couple times. They successfully scammed like $20-something thousand. And whenever I landed in Athens, which is where I was connecting to go to Mykonos, that whole trip got canceled. Like that part of it did. And so I was just sitting there thinking, oh man, what the heck? Look up and I see Liz sitting. She has a hat on. She had like a mask basically covering her face. She was eating food. So like I can't even really see her. She's sitting by her friend. And I thought, oh my God, that's Liz.
People are saying that it is weird that he coincided with Liz in the middle of nowhere, and how the heck did he recognize her when she was all covered up and no one could have told it was her. They are even calling him the real life Joel Goldberg from the show You, who, if you don't know, was supposed to be a psycho and obsessed stalker. And what are my thoughts on this in particular as a psychologist? And just as a disclaimer, because I don't want to get sued, this is all a conspiracy theory, a supposition, because Landon is not my patient, neither is Liz, and I'm just using the public information that I have on hand. With that said, could it have been coincidental that Landon just happened to be on a trip at the same time as Liz, and they just met each other in some random airport outside of their countries of residence? Yes, that happens. That has happened to myself. We can find people anywhere at any time, but Landon seems to have a pattern of being a cheater and very toxic overall, allegedly. Because due to this cheating scandal with Liz, his ex, whose name is Abby, opened up about her toxic relationship with Landon, claiming he was manipulative, that convinced her that she had a bipolar disorder, and took her to a therapist that actually told her she wasn't bipolar at all, but he kept insisting she was. Then he cheated on her while she was pregnant with his baby that unfortunately she lost, and aside from all of that, he physically harmed her, allegedly.
It's so embarrassing. I took him back like 7 times. He cheated on me. I took him back. I ended up getting pregnant by him. I had my miscarriage. I was alone. He was doing his own thing. He wouldn't comfort me. And then that's when I realized, I'm like, fuck, I'm repeating a pattern. And we went to therapy. He found a therapist that specialized in BPD. He told me that I had BPD. And she looked at me, she's like, girl, you do not have BPD. You're too self-aware. You're too empathetic. That doesn't even make sense. You've never been suicidal. And he's like, and he's making me feel like I have something.
And when they broke up, he kept texting her. He followed her everywhere. She got another boyfriend, but Landon kept pursuing her. He even found the therapist she was going to so she could have his side of the story and know how much he loved Abby. And that is not it. Abby also claimed that when she heard Liz was dating Landon, Abby tried to contact Liz in every single way she could to warn her about the dangerous man, through her DMs, by trying to contact Liz's friends through socials as well, but all of her attempts were pointless because Liz and Landon almost got married. And guys, I'm gonna leave some videos in the description box that will tell you all about this case, because Abby showed the receipts, messages, emails, everything to back up her statements.
His ex has come online to say that he not only cheated on Liz, but cheated on her as well, and he was a horrible boyfriend, allegedly just did so many things, laid hands on her, and also she accused him of having found where she lived after they weren't together anymore and found her therapist.
He showed me this freaking horrible person, and I'm like, I forgive you. So stupid. So stupid. I break up with him. I don't see him. He sent me thousands of flowers. He found my address. He found my therapist here in Miami, and she couldn't tell me that, but she was like, your boyfriend, like this and this and this, and I freak out. I'm texting him like, how the fuck did you find my therapist? How the fuck? He's like, I wanted you back. I wanted her to have my experience with you. I wanted her to see that I love you. And I'm like,
I know you could say, why is she revealing all of that right now? She's making up a story to gain fame. Possible, yes, but at the same time, maybe she's using this time to tell her story because she knows she won't be attacked and harassed by internet trolls, as he has done something similar to Liz right now, which we'll talk soon. Bear with me. But yes, we have this other story that shows a creepy privacy invader and cheater pattern, and with this in consideration, I could say that Landon could be a stalker allegedly, and it doesn't necessarily surprise me. He's a software engineer, a tech guy who has gaming as a hobby. These type of careers and activities are commonly not always for loners, for people that could lack from social skills and social interactions, and it could be very typical for them to try to bond with people through a screen, which nowadays with social media and direct messaging is easier. If the other person happens to reply to their DMs, even if it's not often, for the loner could be pleasing because they are paying attention to them, they are being kind to them, they are interacting with them, motivating the development of a parasocial relationship, which could trigger an obsession because for the loner, the person replying to them is the only one they have a bond with, so they will do anything to keep them there, including stalking the other individual. And for a tech guy as Landon that knows how to dissect IP addresses and all those things, it's a piece of cake. And aside from that, Liz is a public figure who's expressed what she likes and what she expects from a man to a wide audience, meaning that Landon could have watched that and know how to exactly act to get Liz as fast as he did. Because yes, they met in person in July of 2024 and got engaged in September, which is crazy because they had barely known each other in the 2 months prior to their engagement. Sure, they DM'd occasionally for 3 years, but you don't get to know someone through a screen, even less on a text, and even less in 2 months of a relationship. It doesn't matter if they stalked you or not. 2 months is still the flirting stage when you meet someone, and in a relationship, that's the honeymoon stage. Getting engaged after 2 months is so dysfunctional, guys, because you need to have the ups, yes, but also the downs to see how you two solve issues, how you communicate with each other, how are you able to contribute in each other's lives, if you have the same life plans, if you're reciprocal, if you're able to commit to the other person, which is a gradual process. It's not immediate, and Liz and Landon have just proved that. Because a couple of weeks ago, at the end of May, Liz posted this story on her Instagram saying that Landon cheated on her through a Snapchat and that the girl was a fan and tried to tell Liz about this cheating attempt at Liz. So yeah, you can watch the stories right here. He lump bumped her, impregnated her, and cheated on her, potentially repeating what he did to Abby. Liz said in her story that she feels she doesn't know him, but being realistic, what was she expecting from a guy that she got engaged in 2 months? I have to reiterate, get to know your partner for real. Go through all of the dating stages, get to know the good side and the bad side of them. It will be beneficial in the long run for your mental sanity, but also you might prevent your future children from living in a dysfunctional family that will also harm them. Now, I do have to talk about Landon and his apology that started with an F you, I'm taking my power back, not great. And after that, he posted a video that is giving, I'm sorry I got caught.
Like, I'm not going to come on here and ask for your forgiveness. I'm just going to come on here and ask for understanding because I made a mistake, but that doesn't mean that I don't love Liz. I love her with my entire heart, and we have a baby on the way. And over the last 10 months, I have done everything I can to give this person all that I can and to make her happy and do all of this. And regardless of how much I care, I made a mistake. And in the middle of texting somebody I should not be texting in this moment of fucking weakness, like seeking validation, and it's just a bad behavior that I can't believe I did it. But in the moment that I was doing it, I messaged that person that I was sorry and that it was wrong. And I prayed to God that night for strength and clarity and to never do that again. That is not who I want to be. It is not what I thought I was stronger than this. I thought I was smarter than this, and I let something build up inside of me that I indulged in, and it is weak and it is despicable. And in this, I'd like to just take full accountability. I don't think this should have been aired out, honestly. And there's so much, oh my God, there's so much to say that I am not going to say, but I'm taking accountability regardless. This is not something that I want to promote or make seem like I identify with. This is not who I want to be, and I'm sorry. I love Liz more than I could even put words to, and I've shown her this, and I've tried my best to make her feel safe and happy and protected. And well, yes, I made this mistake.
I want to be a great man, and I'm not there yet, but I know that a great man is one that takes accountability. I know that a great man is somebody who makes a mistake and then can be forthcoming honestly. And although I felt bad, like I should have just said, hey, I've done this thing, I feel very bad about it, I'm sorry. Like I know what I did was wrong and this is not going to happen again and I'm sorry. And that's how you should treat the people you love. And I am sorry.
Of course, taking accountability is something that he should aim to do, and it will be beneficial if this responsibility came with a true intention of change, but instead it seems as he's trying to victimize himself, basically saying, I love Liz so much, I don't know why I did that, it was out of an impulse. Sir, you're an adult, you knew what you were doing, and if you truly loved Liz, you would have been faithful. But yeah, I think that Landon maybe felt inferior to Liz because she was the beautiful one, she was the famous and loved one by the internet in the relationship, which could have caused envy on Landon, lowered his self-esteem, and he tried to boost it by cheating or attempting to do so. Let's remember that if he was a lonely person before, his self-esteem was on the ground already, and dated someone that is on a higher level potentially buried it. So he was trying to feel better in a dysfunctional way, and now he's just desperate to redeem because he knows the internet is going to cancel him hard. They have been doing it already. And Liz, she hasn't been coping with all of this in the best way either. I mean, she first said, hey, I'm selling my $100K engagement ring and I'm donating the money to single moms, which was fine. She was practicing the feminism and empowerment she spreads online. However, she started posting stories like this one, in which she basically says men, meaning not only Landon, but all men, are so lustful and that's why they are so weak and impulsive, because her partner cheated on her. Then she started changing the captions of reels and pictures which featured moments with Landon, saying a man can do all things for you and still fail you, or I was so blind. And before you tell me that I'm diminishing her feelings, no. It is okay if she feels that way. She's grieving a man who she thought was the one and the one she's about to have a baby with, but sharing it online is not the most functional way to handle this situation. First, because of the obvious. She has a large following of women, many of them being young, impressionable women who could see this and believe that all men are like Landon, generating a rejection to all males, which later could become an extreme, over-the-top feminism, one that we have seen developing in the last couple of years. Things like this only enhance this dysfunctional collective mindset. Second, even if she didn't have such a large following, sharing her problems online could cause people to keep motivating her to stick to the sorrow she's feeling due to this breakup, blocking her from moving on, and simultaneously this could encourage her to despise men even more. And because she does have millions of followers, she might have tons of people motivating her to hate men, which could potentially keep hurting her. It's all a chain. Or third, as it seems to be happening, she could have aired her personal problems online, motivated her followers to despise all men for nothing, as it seems that she allegedly might be getting back with Landon, meaning that she doesn't believe on the message she has spread online for years already, and it all has been a facade for the sake of being popular. And people are speculating that Liz has actually rekindled her relationship with Landon for plenty of reasons. One, because after Abby came out with her claims, Liz denied that she or her friends were contacted by Abby. She called Abby a liar. She's also asked her followers to stop sending hate to Landon because he's still the father of her child, which I understand. She wants her baby to have a present dad, hence why he wants Landon to be healthy and alive. But this logically surprised social media users because Liz started the hate train by airing all of their issues online, dragging him on her old posts and Instagram stories, and suddenly she changed her mind. Why? People are saying it is because she got back with Landon, which could be. She might be trying to back down to not have too much backlash if they announced they are good. But I also have another hypothesis, and it is that Liz might just be trying to portray herself as the bigger person to keep her followers on her side, to try to gain sympathy from the general public too, and increase the number of supporters and monetize out of her tragedy. But that's not the only reason. As number 2, Landon posted an ultrasound from their baby, making it known that he has accompanied Liz to her checkups. I don't know how good of a justification this is because that's his baby too. It makes sense if he demanded to go to make sure his kid is fine. I know many are arguing he's doing that to manipulate Liz to stay with him. However, it is his right to have knowledge about his child's health. Number 3, remember Liz wanted to sell her ring, right? Well, she's not doing that anymore. She suddenly posted a story stating that she's not allowed to do so legally, so she'll be giving her ring back to Landon and will donate $50,000 from her own money. Some are speculating she actually doesn't want to sell the ring anymore because she's marrying Landon and now she's just making excuses. Now, Liz apparently lives in Dubai and it seems that she's allowed to sell the ring without anyone's permission because it is her property. But let's say she's in the state of Texas in the US where Landon lives. It is no different. She can do it as well, meaning that she could be lying because maybe she's back with him. However, maybe Landon asked her to give him the ring back as it was expensive, and because she has enough money, she just accepted as an act of basic decency. And lastly, because Landon is still calling Liz his fiancée publicly,
the wizard Liz and Landon are still together. He literally posted an Instagram story. I think it was like 8 hours. I'm so late. But in this Instagram story, he said him and his fiance. He didn't say me and my ex-fiance. He didn't say fucking Lash. He didn't say me and my ex-girl. He said me and my fiance. And then he goes on to say that everything that Abby said was a lie. And I don't know if you saw, but Abby literally took down all of the videos that she posted about Landon because Landon is apparently saying that he has solid proof that she was actually the abuser and that he was the victim, that she was the one who was lying and being physical and being mentally everything that she was saying about Landon. He said that she was doing to him. And then he ends it off with saying like, anything I did for Liz, I would never do for Abby. At this point, I don't know what's real and what's not. All I know is that Landon is still calling Liz his fiance and Abby has deleted all of her videos. So they're definitely working on their relationship behind the scenes, which is very disappointing, but I understand they're human. He's still scary and she's still pregnant. So that was just a little update. I don't know what's going to happen anymore. Apparently, he is literally taking Abby to court.
So yes, he's saying he's suing Abby, the ex who accused him of being violent and toxic for lying, and because actually she was the violent one in the relationship according to him, the one who left him with psychological wounds. He is also claiming that those allegations are stressful because it's causing him to get more hate from the public, traumatizing him, and also affecting his fiance, which has made fans speculate that Landon and Liz are back together, but we'll just have to wait and see if he actually sues Abby and proves she's a liar. And if he does, I will happily retract, but if he doesn't, it will confirm my hypothesis that he's a lonely person with a low self-esteem he tries to boost by messing up his relationships and victimizing himself. Anyway, I gotta say that in my psychological opinion, none of these possibilities are strong enough to suggest they are actually back, as they are ambiguous. They could mean plenty of stuff, but why am I talking about this whole situation then? Because whatever comes next, it doesn't matter. This episode already leaves us with many mental health related lessons. Number 1, please go out, touch some grass and socialize. Many stalkers, psychopath people already have a biological, neurological predisposition to be so, but this is not everything, because the environmental aspects play a huge role in triggering these traits to manifest. A few of those being loneliness, low self-esteem, social interaction difficulties, which simultaneously could worsen nowadays with the amount of devices in social media, and you could end up as Landon, allegedly getting obsessed with someone online, trying to make your parasocial relationships real, and losing a whole life in the process, and maybe destroying someone else's by invading their privacy, putting them at risk, making them miserable, which we can see with Liz, allegedly, because if Landon turns out to be his real stalker, yes, she got cheated on by him, but most importantly, she now could be having a kid with her stalker, meaning that not only it will be more difficult for her to push him away, but also she might have a child that she will have to take an enormous care to prevent them from developing those same pathological traits. Seriously, go out, try to go to a coffee shop, to a pottery, painting class, Pilates, go to a restaurant, even talking to the cashiers, the instructors, the people at the counter is socializing. It's getting a taste from what it's like to be surrounded by others and decrease the feelings of loneliness, and you may even start new friendships. Number 2, before getting into a relationship, get to know the person. When you choose who your best friend is, it is because you've gotten to know them, you have extensively talked about shallow things but also deep stuff, you both know about each other's ups and downs, you've had your ups and downs between the two of you as well, you've hung out a lot, you've gone to each other's houses, you may even know their family and maybe they know yours. There is a connection that has been built as a significant amount of time has gone by. Romantic relationships are not different. Obviously, some things will vary as it is a different type of bond that involves flirting and a different sort of chemistry, but you still have to connect with the person, which you are able to do by knowing them through different moments, situations, stages, and you do that with time, and certainly way more than 2 months, especially if marrying, living together, and if you desire having kids is your final goal. Sure, it is complicated to know someone like at 100% as we're always changing, but the basic traits of who someone really is can be unwrapped. It takes time though, so you can actually determine if they are the right partner for you or not, if you're going on the same direction or not. In 2 months, you're still in the honeymoon stage where everything is so new, so exciting. The oxytocin levels are at their peak. And for them to calm down and make the relationship more realistic, you'll have to wait 9 months on average. So preferably you shouldn't get pregnant nor get married. In 9 months is just the minimum because sometimes it might take up to 18 months for that fairy tale love to die down. And so you both as partners can actually realize if you're willing to commit or not. I mean, Landon and Liz are a great depiction of the dysfunctional side of this because in less than a year, Landon wrote books for Liz to make her known how much he loved her, traveled around the world to be with her, created a software or something like that for her as a gift that cost him thousands of dollars, asked her to marry him, bought her the most expensive gift. Meanwhile, Liz was feeling like a princess that finally found her prince, that gave her the worth she deserved and was willing to form her dream family with her because oxytocin was all over the place. But when Landon's oxytocin faded, his true colors showed, and the saddest part is that in this case, there is a child in the middle that might have to unfairly pay with the consequences of their parents' impulsive decisions. As maybe the kid will grow in a dysfunctional home with separated parents, maybe with an absent or semi-present dad, living in the middle of constant arguments, and probably with social media users making fun of their parents' issues as they have been aired online for everyone to see. That's a kind of instability that a child doesn't deserve to suffer, even less since birth. Number 3, as a society, let's stop idolizing people we don't know. We've done it with A-list celebrities, politicians, activists, influencers, but in the end, we're actually putting nobody in a pedestal because we don't really know these people. We know the mask they have put out for the public to see, meaning that we listen to these well-curated, structured discourses they use to appeal to us, to make us do what they want, but maybe they don't even believe what they are preaching and they are just spitting words in the wind simply because they have a platform, and maybe they are just spreading words that sound good but are not practical in real life, at least not for them. But if something is not useful for themselves, could they be useful for others? Let's take Liz as an example. She has spent years telling women to not settle for less, to give themselves the love they deserve first so they can be conscious of their value and therefore find a man that's on their level. She has pushed this independent, girl boss aspirational image of one of an empowered woman that on the surface seemed invincible and strong enough. No man would have been able to tear her down, but it seems that in reality her words were just things she dreamed to achieve, not ones that she had conviction in, hence why she got involved with Landon. She's had millions looking up to her, taking her as a role model, idolizing her, for her to then go against everything she has preached, even more if she is actually back with Landon after him cheating on her and making an entire soap opera out of this mess. This is why we always should take things with a grain of salt, analyze them, how coherent they are in general, and how useful are they for your own individual context. How realistic are they? How practical are them? Is the person preaching these things even doing them? Do they fully believe in them, or are they just saying things for the sake of making headlines or getting viral? In the end, every single thing you see online, even this video, comes from imperfect human beings that, as you, have ups and downs, have strengths, weaknesses, and are just experimenting this uncertain life in the same way and at the same time as you are. Is there something you learned from this video or something that you would like to add to the conversation? Leave it in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to like and share with someone that may find this useful. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you never miss out for more interesting psychology content. Thanks for watching.